With that said, I guess I will call this meeting of the Board of Ethics to order. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Yes, Madam Chair. Ms. Wint-Pearson.
Present.
Ms. Powelson just sent a message saying she'd be about 5 minutes late. Mr. Kelly.
Here.
Mr. Goodston.
Here.
Ms. Wilson. She hasn't joined yet, but you have a quorum, Madam Chair.
All right, thank you. All right, so we'll start with the approval of the agenda. Does anyone have any changes or edits to the agenda as written?
I do not.
I don't either.
All right, hearing none, I have a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we have an agenda. On to minutes of the previous meeting. Do we need a moment to look back at the minutes of the February 16th meeting?
I've already kind of looked it over.
I have as well. Terry,
Yeah,
do you want to, or you good
It
to
looked
go?
good to me.
Okay, do I have a motion?
Motion to approve minutes.
Second.
All right, I vote yes as well. So I think that's all of us, and we have approved the minutes. All right, on to the consent agenda. Do we want a moment here to review any of the disclosure forms before we entertain a motion on the consent agenda?
I mean, I have some questions on some of them.
Yeah, go for it.
So Brandy Eber. Brandy didn't check any of the reasons why they're making a disclosure.
What didn't she say? Oh, of what she actually is?
Yeah. Is it shade somewhere else? Did I miss it?
Oh, it's an interesting question. I didn't see it.
So we have no idea what she's disclosing, or why she's disclosing.
She's
Essentially,
got nothing to disclose though, whatever her role is. That's a good question. It seems like we should probably have that information complete before we approve that one.
thinking.
I had a question about, and I guess we don't actually ask this information, so potentially I think it's irrelevant to the approval, but I was curious about the Hillcorp, the disclosure, the Alexandra and Nanalo disclosure, because I was unaware of Hillcorp having direct business with the municipality, but I think it's not relevant. My question is irrelevant to whether or not we should approve it, because we don't actually ask for that information.
I had the same question. Do we need to know whether Hillcorp has a contract with the Muni in order to okay this one? Long pause suggests unknown.
I would say, I mean, honestly, I think probably I would say we are fine to, we think this is our standard in the past has been to approve based on the representation that there's no, no impact. But I realize we have asked those questions about, for instance, like the Dina Bishop one, right? She said, there's no way I have any control over this. And we said, wait a minute, based on information we know about what ACS does for the school district, that seems unlikely. Here, it seems unlikely that this person on the Urban Design Commission would have any role over any type of contract that Hillcorp could possibly have with the municipality. So I think I personally am comfortable approving it without further questions, but it's a good point, right? We don't know.
Yeah. I don't want to stick too long to the issue, but I just was curious. If you're cool with it, I'm cool with it as well.
Are you, Terry? You cool with it?
Yeah, I can't say it gave me any heartburn. It looked like there was a far enough distance between the two.
Okay. Any other questions other than that? I had no further questions.
Yeah, I'm nothing else besides that. Besides that one that I pointed out.
Same here. No further questions.
Welcome, Aisha.
Hello, my apologies for being late. This is Aisha. I'm here now.
No problem. We were just reviewing the consent agenda
All
and
right.
had reviewed a few questions regarding the disclosures. That we were just finalizing those questions for review. Hi, Joan.
Sorry, I think I was on the wrong link.
Oh no,
Good
sorry about
for you
that.
today.
Oh no, she's on the interview link. Waiting.
Like, yeah, I was like, then I went, oh, let me try this one.
So at the conclusion of the meeting, we'll have time to talk about whether this is the best way to handle guests or whether we'd like to try and do an in-person session or some other version of troubleshooting. This is the solution that we cobbled together this week, given
seems like
some
it should-
concerns.
I
What?
was smart. It seems like it should be work if I was more conscientious and got on the right link. But
Yeah, understandable. So where we were was we're reviewing item 5A, disclosures on the consent agenda. We had raised the question of Ms. Eber does not disclose what her role is with the municipality. So I think we were coalescing around wanting that information before we sign off on her disclosure. We just explored whether Ms. Nanalo's disclosure, whether we needed more information because we all had a hard time understanding what Hillcorp was doing with the municipality. And generally our discussion landed on we were comfortable not knowing in this instance because as a role of the Urban Design Commission, as a member of the Urban Design Commission, we saw nothing within her purview that could implicate Hillcorp. And that was the only question that we raised. So if you all, do either of you have any further questions we should address before we get to a motion?
not me, no.
Okay. Do I have a motion for how we'd like to address the consent agenda?
Motion to approve the consent agenda?
Wait, are we approving the whole thing, even the one that didn't get filled out?
Oh, yeah, right. So I guess motion to approve the consent agenda with the exception of the one that didn't get filled out.
Second.
All right, discussion? Hearing nothing, all in favor of approving the consent agenda with the exception of the Eber disclosure?
Aye.
Aye, sorry, I missed it.
Excellent. All right, so we've made it through the consent agenda. So now we're going to start our gymnastics of motion between meetings. And again, at the end of this meeting, we can discuss the reason for this. The concern is making sure that we don't inadvertently share confidential transcript of one guest's conversation with us with another guest, while because in that we still need to tape these meetings because they are an executive session. So I would at this point entertain a motion to move into executive session and jump to our separate invite to consider ethics complaint for potential violation 2022-1.
Becky, can I raise one quick point?
Yes.
I think at the end of our meeting, we might have disclosed a name on the record that we didn't intend to. So whatever we do, let's always come back into session. With that statement, I move that we go into executive session for.
Okay, thank you for that, Joan.
Second.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Madam
may I
Clerk?
just clarify, do you want to go into executive session regarding both matters A and B so that we don't have to come back to open session? Because I think your invites to the attendees are back to back.
Oh, that's correct. Okay, so I think we would need a motion to enter two successive executive sessions for ethics complaint for potential violation 2022-1 and ethics complaint for potential violation 2021-12, returning to open session when we conclude.
I move to amend my motion as you stated, Madam Chair.
It's a second.
Second.
Any opposition? Okay, hearing none, let's jump to the first separate invitation for our first executive session.
Okay, so we're gonna hit that little red phone but hang up button.
Yeah, you're
And then
gonna hang up on this and you go join the other the 2:45 scheduled invitation that Jennifer sent to you. We'll see if we can.
Okay.
And look at this lovely. This slide's gonna stay here in our absence.
Oh, great. All right. Hope this works out. See you all over there. Good luck, everyone.
Thank you, Jenna.
And now that we're on the record, I mean, we'll wait till the group reconvenes, but I'd like to entertain a motion to move into deliberative session to discuss briefly the 2 executive sessions we just had. But I'll wait till we have Terry and Joan with us.
Yeah, I would love to second that motion. So.
Excellent. Well, let's wait till we have our whole body so we're not.
Everyone deleted the original invite, or?
I don't know. I was like, maybe Joan doesn't have the original invite because she had a
I
hard
know.
time.
I
back
forwarded
at
it.
the- 2 invites ago.
Yeah, 2 invites ago.
Okay. Well,
Oh, she's
there's
popped up.
Joan. Okay. All right. Now that we are fully constituted, I would like to entertain a motion to move into deliberative session to discuss ethics complaint for potential violation 2022-1 and ethics complaint for potential violation 2021-12.
I second that motion.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, Madam Clerk, can we move into deliberative session? Are we in open session, Madam Clerk?
Madam Chair,
Yes,
Sorry,
Madam
Terry?
Chair, you are.
Thank you. Terry, did you have something you wanted to say?
yeah, Madam Chair, I'm going to move that the board accept notice of potential violation 2021-12 that we accept that notice of potential violation for review, and that we invite the respondents to our next meeting for an interview.
Do you also have a component of your motion on the record regarding what we'd like to ask Ms. Carmichael to do in the interim?
Yes, I would also like to, I propose that we ask Ms. Carmichael to contact the complainant and secure her permission to share her identity. And assuming that we achieve such permission, that we share the entire complaint with the respondents before our next meeting.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Perfect, motion
Aye.
passes. Okay. Do I hear a second motion regarding 2022-1?
Sure, I'll make a motion on 2022-1. The complainant in that has agreed to waive confidentiality and pass the complaint along to the respondent, and we will invite the respondent for an interview at our next meeting.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Great, so we've given Megan a bunch of homework. At this point, we're at the end of our time. Do we have any strong feelings about doing a second meeting, a special meeting prior to our next meeting, or do we feel that both of these matters can wait till our next meeting?
I think we did it. We kind of figured it out, right?
I think
So we can handle both these in our next meeting?
I think so too.
Okay.
Do we want to talk
I agree.
briefly about having the next meeting in person, or do we need to save that for later?
I think that's a good question to answer right now if everyone has an additional 2 minutes. I have a 4:30 that's waiting for me, but they can wait for 2 minutes. Would we rather do our next meeting in person to facilitate having all these folks attend? Or I don't know if the group of people are going to want to come here. So does it matter? I guess would be my other question.
Yeah, my guess is that they would probably rather appear remotely than driving all the way up into town. And so
And do we don't have a way to do a hybrid, right? Like if we're in person, we don't have a way to have them on a screen? No? Okay.
I'm shaking my head. No, I thought we decided that when we were trying to figure out if some of us were in person. It was just the other person was by phone, right?
Yes, we can have them call in.
Well, then it seems like it defeats. I'd rather have them do it virtually than have them on a phone in the middle of the room.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Yeah, me too.
I felt like this went reasonably well. I mean, Jennifer, you probably this was more of a pain for you than the rest of us. I actually felt like we moved relatively well from meeting to meeting without too much disaster today.
I am willing to accommodate the board's wishes. I just, you know that I have some concerns about the confidentiality in this format, especially when we're sharing links with people and then you're discussing things, but I agree that it went reasonably well.
Okay, so with that, it sounds like we will retain a virtual format for next month and proceed accordingly. Okay.
Madam Chair, may I ask one question
Yes.
regarding the complaint where you're going to have potentially 3 respondents? Can they all be in one meeting, or are you wanting to invite them all separately?
I think probably
Something to think about.
separately. Yeah, but we can, others for final thoughts, would you think? I would think separately that we want to ask each of them because they each have different interests and different stories, and I don't want to create a they're all kind of, to me this feels like I could see a violation with respect to one of them and not all of them based on the description here and the interests at stake. So I would be inclined to say we should invite each of them for a shorter chunk of time and not all of them at once.
I agree. Yeah.
Which I realize means we're going to have many meeting invitations next month, but
Many.
Can we do it in one and just have them show up at different times?
well, the challenge is, the reason here is that when we do it in a single meeting with everyone invited to it, the meeting generates a transcript of that's an amalgamation of all of the recordings, whether or not they are in executive session. And then anyone who has access to the invite, who understands how to use Teams, can go in and eventually find the transcript. And so we're concerned that the concern is that transcript then, like a later, if we had used one meeting invitation today, Ms. Raymond Yakubian would receive a transcript of our confidential discussion with Mr. whatever his name was.
Yeah. Okay, I understand.
Yeah.
Okay, well, in light of that, do we want to see if the Girdwood people want to come in person?
Well, why don't we do that? See if they would prefer to come in person or not, and then make a decision about virtualness based on that. Is that reasonable to ask?
Yeah, so when
so.
I contact them, I'll ask them, hey, can you guys attend in person? That would be easier for our purposes, but if not, we'll go for virtual.
Yes, I think that's probably a good plan. I would agree with that plan.
Assuming our board members are comfortable being in person.
I'm fine being in person. Others?
I'm fine.
Fine.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay. Do we have a motion to adjourn? I apologize, but I have a meeting waiting for me.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Thank you all.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good
Bye.
night.
Bye.
Thank you.